Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt doing another video analysis for you. Wanted to take a look at this discus thrower here whose name is Ellis. Quite frankly, the reason I'm looking at Ellis is because his first name is my last name, and I thought that was pretty damn cool. The other reason is because he is a lefty, and he has a very common issue that you see with a lot of left-handed throwers. We're going to watch this in real time to take a look at it and see what's going on, but you'll notice that he starts to throw. It's kind of hard to see because there's no cage and there's no sector lines, but how he is lined up tells me that he should be throwing more down toward this light pole right here, even maybe toward the paw print that's here on the side of the hill. This should be the middle of his sector. If you can imagine sort of it being at an angle, that the middle of the sector is going to be right about here. And you'll notice where he actually throws the discus. He starts to throw the discus, boom, and it's a big, what would be a right sector foul. So let's watch that again. And I want you to take a look at the feet here. There's a big reason, I say it in a lot of my videos, why I don't like the back and forth movement in the back of the circle. Just pull back once and throw is what I always tell people. See, back and forth, back and forth. Watch how far the feet move. So watch where his feet begin. So let's take a look. Let's look where the feet begin. And now let's look at where the feet are when it's actually released. You can kind of see how that the feet started to walk a little bit. They started to slide on the circle a little bit, and now his feet aren't lined up correctly. Let's see if I can get it in a good spot here. So there's where he starts to throw. Okay. Here's after the first time he pulls it back. See how now it's facing more this way? So see how the middle of his feet are right here now? Where before it was pointing that way, and now it's over here. So this is why I don't like when people pull back the discus. Even this, he pulls it back twice. Pulls it back once, brings it to his right side, pulls it back again, and goes. Even pulling it back 2 times, you start to get happy feet. You start to tap your feet and slide your feet and move your feet around. And the twisting of the upper body is sometimes, and twisting of the hips is going to twist and move the feet around. You start to get happy feet. Now look at, see this stain on the circle? The stain on the circle is now in between his feet, where before it almost looked like he should have been going this way. And watch what happens to the feet. Pulls it back. Middle of his feet is right here where the cursor is. Let's see where his left foot lands. Whoop. Just over from that stain on the circle. So he's over-rotating into, as a left-handed thrower, he's over-rotating onto the right side of the circle. Do you see that? Where his foot should be landing here, and his right foot should be landing there. Watch where the right foot lands. Way over here. So he's actually kind of, instead of driving down the middle, he's making this sort of C shape. Instead of driving down the middle to this position where the left foot or the left toe would be here, and the right toe would be on or close to the stain right here that's in the middle of the circle, he's twisted himself over to the left. And I think that really has a lot to do with the positioning in the back of the circle, where he should be driving this way. See how he's driving that way. And I think that's all because of where his body is positioned. See how now his spine is facing where he's going to throw. If you're starting in the back of the circle, take a look at it that way. So beginning of the throw, is right. It's so hard to tell. So it looks like he's going to throw, his spine is facing this way. It's just a weird angle. It looks like he's trying to throw this way, like that would be the middle of the sector, but he's throwing over here. So the alignment is definitely a little bit wacky in the back of the circle. Even if the middle of the circle is at a weird spot, this would be 12 o'clock. So this is where the middle of his body should be. So let's try to, we got to find almost like a clock. We've got to find 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I don't know where that would be. It definitely wouldn't be here to here because you're bisecting that circle. That's where you're going, is this way. You should either be going that way down the middle or this way down the middle. But the way that you're lining up in the back is a little bit wonky. It's a little bit misaligned. So I would definitely try to find, and it's hard to tell because there are no painted sector lines, there's no cage. You've got you're positioned at kind of a weird angle here because you're not throwing across the field, you're throwing diagonally across the field instead of up and down or across this way. So it's really hard for me to tell where you're lining up and where you're trying to throw the discus. But it looks like, and this is, again, something that a lot of my left-handed throwers, and I've had quite a bit, I've actually had almost as many left-handed state champions in New England qualifiers than I have right-handed state champions and New England qualifiers. So I've got a lot of experience with lefties, and it's just something is not looking right when you're lined up here. Something's not correct. So get lined up. Find 6 o'clock, find 12 o'clock, and get lined up correctly. So if it's this way, get the middle of your body so that your right foot is at 1 o'clock and your left foot is at 11, and drive to 6. Or if this right here is 12 o'clock and you're trying to throw that way, get your body lined up that way. You're just not lined up in the back of the circle. So once you get lined up, that should help out the alignment of your throw and have you throwing down the middle. The other big thing that I want you to take a look at too is your left foot. You've got a very wide left foot. You do a great job of getting the left foot off the ground at a pretty good time. You can see you're driving down the middle, but watch how far. At this point, let's drive. So you're around your right. You're doing a pretty good job getting around your right. Let's drive with this left foot, but instead your left foot comes out really, really wide this way. Imagine a sprinter coming out of the starting blocks. You would never want to see a sprinter come out of the starting blocks and have one of their feet over here. You want their feet completely straight, the knees close to each other, the feet close to each other, in as efficient of a position as possible. So you can see here you do this wide kind of sweep with your left foot and your left shin. Let's get that a little bit closer and make that drive a little bit more efficient. But it's hard to tell from this video exactly where you're aiming, where you want that discus to go. From this point, it looks like you should be going toward the paw print. Or even if we just said toward where your head is, kind of right here. And look where the discus goes. Down the right sector. So there's the discus right there. Should be over here. If we're aiming correctly, it should be like right there. So I'm not too sure. You might want to send in another video or try to somehow use chalk to draw north, south, east, and west in the circle. 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the circle. Just because it's really, really hard to tell. This is one of those videos where I don't really know. It looks like it's the positioning in the back of the circle that's causing everything, but it's so hard to tell because there's no idea where to tell where you're throwing. I mean, there's this little, it looks like a drain or it's like an orange line. So I don't know if this is maybe 9 o'clock and that is 12, and you're throwing in the correct direction, but you're starting off all the way over here, kind of in a weird spot. I don't really know what's going on here. So again, one of those tricky ones. Can't fix everybody. It's all based on what the video looks like, and it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see how you've got that over rotation, or what looks like the over rotation. I think it's caused by that left shin and that left foot being all the way out here, but kind of tough to tell. So that's what I got for this one. Not the easiest one to critique because I don't really know direction of where you're supposed to be throwing or what the issue is, what the problem you think it might be. So tough for me to tell, but that's what it looks like, at least from my point of view, from an outsider looking in. So if you guys have any suggestions, or Ellis, if you want to send in another video, feel free, and I will take a look at that one and see if we can find out what's going on.